Hello, welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're with me today because I think you're going to love what I'm going to share with you. I have to tell you a quick story first. It's probably been 10 years ago. My best friend Jane and I were making Christmas candies together. We had all of our ingredients and we were at her house and we had different things. I know we made the little peanut butter balls and we made Martha Washington candy and I can't remember what all, but the last thing we were going to make was peanut brittle. I'm going to tell you, it was the biggest flop we've ever had. We tried making it in an iron skillet, and I know many people make it in an iron skillet, but we didn't cook it long enough, or we cooked it too long or whatever. But from that day until about 2 weeks ago, I had not attempted to make any peanut brittle or anything that resembled it. But we have a friend that comes to visit us, and when he comes, he always brings us a package of pecan brittle. And y'all, it is better than peanut brittle to me. So I started searching for recipes, and I found one. Well, I found several, and they all were just a little bit different, had the same ingredients but different amounts. So I just kind of tweaked it and put this and that together, and I made it before we left to go to the beach. And I didn't video it then because I thought, if it's a flop like that Jane and I made, I don't want to waste my time setting up the camera and everything. But y'all, it was so good. Harold and I ate it several days while we were gone, and after we've gotten back, he and I both said we'd love to have some more. So I'm going to show you how easy it is. You make this in the microwave. You start off with 1 cup of white sugar and a half a cup of corn syrup, light colored corn syrup. And I did spray my cup with spray. Somebody told me the last time that if you would spray it, it would come out so much easier, and you were right. You know, I love it because we learn from each other. I have taken a wooden spoon and I sprayed it. You want to spray your spoon for sure, because you're going to use this same spoon for every step. And the longer you are using this cooking it, you're going to need to have sprayed it. All right, now I'm going to put this in my microwave and cook it for 3 minutes. It's so easy, it's unbelievable. Now we take 2 steps of cooking it 3 minutes each in the microwave. First of all, it was the white sugar and the light corn syrup. I just used the Walmart brand. You can use Karo or whatever, it doesn't matter. But when that comes out, I'm going to stir it, and then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of pecans. Now, of course, I use Whaley's, and I hope that you've tried them. But you see, what I'm using is the Whaley's medium pieces. I don't know if you can see. They're already chopped for you. Many of the recipes call for pecan halves, and Whaley's has those. But I made it before with the pieces, and that's what I'm going to use again. Now, when that 3 minutes is up, and it's halfway there, I'm going to stir that. I'm going to add these chopped pecans and stir it, put it in for 3 more minutes, and you don't have very many more steps. Now, in the meantime, you want to take, this is what I did, and it was so much easier. I put some aluminum foil in my cookie sheet, and I took butter, and I greased it real good with butter, because you don't want your peanut brittle to stick. And I went ahead and I did that. And I think you're gonna be so surprised. Now, I'm sure you can make this same recipe if you wanted to use peanuts. But if you haven't tried pecans, you need to try it and let me know what you think about it. Harold and I went to the beach for a little bit. I know that I didn't advertise that a lot, but it was our 50th wedding anniversary, and we didn't do anything. We rested, I read, I did some cross stitching. I wanted to say I went to the beach, so we went one day, and my oncologist had told me that I couldn't get out in the sun because of the chemo that I'm taking and the radiation that I had. So they said, if you go, you sit under a big umbrella and put lots of sunscreen on, and that's what I did. Let me get this out. Okay. Do you see it's bubbly? And I'm just going to stir it real good. And I'm going to add my 1.5 cups of the pecan pieces. And just mix that in. And I'm going to put that back in the microwave for 3 more minutes. But after Jane and I made such a mess with that peanut brittle before, I couldn't, I thought, I'm never going to do this again. And I thought, how is it that these sweet ladies are always making peanut brittle and selling it for their church to make money for missions or whatever? This is the hardest thing in the world to make, and it come out right. It's what I thought. But the microwave has made this recipe so easy for me. But now, when that comes out, I have 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to put that in there and stir it. And then I'm not going to cook it, but for only 1 more minute. So we're almost finished with this recipe, and it's so good. And I'll tell you how I did mine. When it hardened, and it takes maybe 45 minutes to an hour to cool, and I just kind of hit it, and it broke into pieces, and I put ours in a wide mouth mason jar, and that's how I took it with us, and it stayed fresh for several days. I was sad when it was gone. But this would make a good gift, at Christmas time. I know when I taught school, I would get delicious homemade cookies. There was a lady that used to make them for me every year. Another lady made homemade fudge that was the best. It was the old-timey fudge. And maybe before Christmas I'll get her recipe from her and attempt it, because it's the kind like our mothers used to make, my age mother. The kind that's real sugary and grainy, it's not this creamy fudge like is good now, but it's the old-timey that's so good. Have about 20-something seconds. And we'll put the butter, 2 tablespoons of butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to stir it, put it back in the microwave for 1 minute, and that'll be the last time it'll go in the microwave after that comes out. Okay, we got 1 second. You have to be careful when you're making candy or something in the microwave, because it does bubble up. Okay. Now, I'm going to put the 2 tablespoons of butter and a teaspoon of vanilla. That vanilla causes it to bubble. Okay? Make sure I get that off of my spoon so it'll be in there. And now this will just go 1 more minute. Okay, now I have measured a teaspoon of baking soda. Scout, you running? You smell it? He had been outside, and when he came in, he came running. I'm sure you can hear his little feet. But when that comes out, I'm going to have this right here. I'll add my baking soda, and it's going to foam up. And I'm going to stir it and mix it real well, and then I'm going to pour it on here and let it cool. It has a wonderful smell. Okay, now, I don't know, I hope you can see. It's going to start foaming. Turns a different color with that baking soda. I'm going to pour it in here, and now remember, you want to spray your wooden spoon. Now, can you get me 2 forks in case I can't mix it real good? Okay. You want to work this as fast as you can because it hardens pretty fast, and I like mine thinner. And it's okay if it's not, you know, if it looks like it's thinner in some places, because when you break it, it's going to be in pieces anyway. I just want it thin enough that it won't take it that long to harden, and I think that's going to be about right. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cool for, I'm going to say it may take an hour, but I'll let you know how long it did when I come back, and you're going to be able to see what it looks like then. Okay, I have let this cool for, it's been about 35 minutes. And it's not warm at all. You can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of take this and drop it. And you see the pieces? It's into pieces like that. It's got a little butter on the bottom. It's just delicious. And what I do, I take a wide mouth jar, and I just put the pieces in there, and see, put it in, and that's a pretty big piece. That'll be mine. But anyway, I'll fill up this jar, and that way when it's full, I'll put the lid on it, and it'll keep. But y'all, this is so easy, so good. I hope you'll try it and see that it's something that you can make often. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for ordering my cookbooks. In case you're new here, you can go to my website, MamaSue'sSouthernKitchen.com, and it tells you how to order my cookbooks. I have a volume 1 and a volume 2. I have shirts and aprons. My saying is, be salt and light. We should let our light shine for Jesus. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'll be back soon.